Good morning, everyone. This is Jarvis S. Scott with What's Happening in Birmingham today. I have the honor and pleasure of being with attorney Benita Jenkins of the Law Office of Benita Jenkins, LLC. Good morning.
Good morning.
Attorney Jenkins.
Good morning.
Thank you for taking time out your day. I know you all have seen her advertisements for years on my website. You've seen the commercials on TV. But I have the opportunity today to sit down with Attorney Jenkins, and we're going to talk about a little child support and child custody. So, Ms. Jenkins, thank you once again for taking time out your day.
No problem. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So the first question I want to ask you is, what type of cases have you been dealing with lately when it comes to like child support and child custody?
So my office specializes in family law. So every day I usually do something regarding custodies and child support, or both, or whether it's in family court or in divorce type cases.
Okay. So I guess the number one question, a lot of times you get people ask you is, how much do I have to pay child support, or how does the court determine child support?
So one good thing about Alabama, one fair thing I will say about calculating child support is that no matter what, they take both parents' income, and what they do, they have a timetable chart pretty much that they go by. It's called Rule 32 in the Alabama guidelines on how to calculate child support, and outside of any type of agreement that the parents have, that's usually the standard.
Okay. What changes have you seen as far as going back to child support? I guess this new term is like modification.
Yes.
Can you kind of explain that?
So a modification of child support can mean several things. A lot of times it's because the one of the parents have a different job, or the children have gotten older where they don't need daycare costs and stuff like that, and that definitely changes the amount of child support someone pays.
Okay. What would you tell clients where maybe they have had a situation, handshake with the father and the mother, and they probably in the past, well, I paid this and I got receipts for that. What do you tell them about that as far as that relate to the court and hold up?
Well, it definitely matters, especially like I always tell my clients, never give cash. Always have receipts of what you've paid prior to coming to court, because the court can consider all evidence, and a lot of times they do consider, okay, if the parent has paid some money out each month, they will consider that for situations dealing with arrearages, back child support, things like that.
Okay, so let's just say, throw out another scenario. Let's just say if the father loses his job.
Yes.
What does the court say about that?
Well,
child support?
A lot of times the fathers, when I represent fathers, when they come to me, I always have to tell them, yes, it definitely will change, but the guidelines just don't say, okay, he doesn't have a job, so it's at zero. They usually say, okay, this person is not working because of if they're in school or something like that. Maybe they got hurt and laid off the job. They will impute minimum wage in that circumstance and calculate it for a 40-hour work week. And it's usually $12.57 a month is what usually is imputed for that person who doesn't have a job.
Okay, so I guess we kind of transition to heard this term modification, or I guess change in the child support. So how they go about?
You have to file. The first step is you have to file a petition for modification of child support, and pretty much the person who is filing it has to serve that person, and that person has 30 days or 14 days to answer what that person has said, or what the person has petitioned the court for. And in that situation, the court sets it down for a hearing or a trial, and each one of them have their day in court to see if it needs to be modified.
Okay. So next up, child support, the next, I guess, contentious or sometimes tough issue you deal with is child custody.
Yes.
And what type of cases have you dealt with there, or scenarios in the past?
Oh, the same kind. In family court and in divorce cases, I do a lot of child custody issues.
Okay. So in your situation, most times people always feel like, that maybe the mother may, 9 times out of 10, have the favorable ruling, but you've probably seen cases where the father can get full custody rights. So
absolutely, I like Alabama again for the situation that most of the judges that I go before don't say, okay, just because the mother is the mother, that they should be awarded full custody or primary custody. So it's several factors that the court looks at to determine who's the better parent, if you will, to be the primary parent of that child.
Okay. Well, next question I'm going to ask, I hope this is not like a dumb question, but I know sometimes people may have a real situation. What happens if you have a mother and a father that say, well, we have this agreement that for all intents and purposes, we're going to give $300 a month. Mm-hmm. Does that apply in the court?
Yeah, I actually just had that happen. Okay. The court, like I said before, they use a guideline for the parents that can't come to an agreement. Mm-hmm. But if the parents come to an agreement on a lower amount of child support or a higher amount of child support, the court will consider that.
Okay. Next question, which is very important. You deal with a lot, especially when you're going through these child support and child custody cases, is people activity on social media during this time. Yes. And how that can play a factor sometimes and actually used against in court.
Yes. A lot of times the world is progressive. So social media is like an avenue to get people in trouble or to help a case out because you can print off everything. And a lot of times people have their real names as their profile. So it's a lot of evidence that people can use in the court of law that they can get off of Instagram and social media platforms like that.
So has that been used in the past to actually get sometimes an increase in child support?
Oh, yes. Okay. If someone has a stack of, hundreds on the table and a brand new Lamborghini but comes in the court and says that they don't make but minimum wage, then if you bring those pictures to court, the court is going to want to know how you got that money. Or, are you hiding something? So it definitely will play a part in how that case will go.
Okay, what about even on the flip side of going through child custody cases where sometimes people's behavior sometimes can also sway or be evidence?
Yes, I tell my clients when they come into my office, just stay off of Facebook while we're going through this case procedure, because in custody cases, for instance, if someone puts drugs on their page, think it's cool to say, smoking is fine, stuff like that, then absolutely that will play a part in whether the court determines if you are a fit parent.
Okay. Next question. I guess you get asked this a lot. Why did you choose a career in law?
Oh, my goodness. For several reasons. The main reason is to just stand up for people who wouldn't typically have a voice. I do a lot of appointed work, meaning that the state of Alabama appoints me on cases where parents cannot afford attorneys. So I just, got into this business to just make a difference or try to make a difference.
Okay. So if someone decides to take you on as their attorney, what do you want to tell them and what do you want them to know?
Well, I just want them to know that I will listen to what they have to tell me. I take it very seriously because this is their lives. A lot of times, I'm their last hope. So I want them to feel like what they have to say matters. So that's what they'll feel if they hire me.
Okay. So for more information and would like to get in contact with you?
Yes, there's several ways. The main way is through my office. 205-458-0041 is my main office line. You can go to my website at benitajenkinslaw.com. You can follow me on Facebook at the Law Office of Benita Jenkins, LLC. You can also follow me on Instagram at Benita Jenkins Law.
All right. Well, thank you, Attorney Jenkins. And I want to personally thank you for being my client for 5+ years.
I cannot believe it.
I'm so proud of her. She actually was on Talk Alabama today too, so please check out that interview as well. If you saw it earlier, we'll put a link on the website. But thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
I'm gonna bring her back for more segments in the future. Y'all don't know how much I had to track her down, but she be busy, real busy, y'all. So thank you all again, and please check out more interviews today on whatshappenedbirmingham.com. Thanks again. Bye bye.